D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I just finished the latest episode of Stargirl, season 3, episode 4. I don't know. Oh, it's called The Evidence. And I have to just say, I really enjoy this show. It's not in terms of writing, it's not like the best writing ever. Not like it's not like gonna win an Emmy or anything like that. But I think I like the wholesomeness of this show. I like the I can't think of the right word for it, but the bright eyes and the light inside some of these kids' eyes. And Yolanda, she's pretty depressed and angry. But in Stargirl's eyes, she's got this positive can-do attitude, and I like that. I'm a little cynical these days. But I like it, and I like that, it's just got this really great, like I said, wholesome, but it's got like this really great like overarching theme of second chances and positive thinking and thinking looking at the best in people. And I really like that about this show. And again, and like the special effects are good when they have them. I think they spend the money, and I think the acting is good. But like I said, the writing isn't, it's nothing to write home about. Like I said before, it's not going to win an Emmy for anything, but it's still good. And I'm doing breakdowns of this episode. I know you probably already watched the episode if you're doing this, but I do this because I can get out my thoughts, better when I see a picture of it. But I do like this show. A friend on here, a fellow YouTuber, said that he had seen that this show wasn't getting a season 4. And that bums me out if it's true. It probably is true just because I feel like the CW shows are going, away. But I really do like this show. And I would love to see these characters around more, and I just want to say real quick, and I'll throw it up, but they posted a picture of Brock Basinger. Is that how you Basinger? I don't know how to say her name. Anyways, they posted a picture of her with the kid that plays Beast Boy on Titans, and I was like, oh Jesus, please let them have a crossover. Daddy is ready. They probably won't. That's probably me just wishful thinking, but whatever, it's fine. She's like, well, look who we ran into. And I was like, well, I think they all film in Canada, so it makes sense. All right. But I was just like, man, if there's a crossover, that'd be super fun. I'm all for it, But yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop yapping and get into this breakdown. But before I do that, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just get shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So now that I got that out of the way, let's break this sucker down. So it starts off with Cameron. And it's Cameron, right? I don't know. Icicle 2. I'm gonna call him Cameron. I don't care if it's wrong. I think because what's that other kid's? It doesn't matter. Anyways, so he's going through his mansion. By the way, look at this room right here. He's got like a little paint section in this little like fireplace area. I was like, give that to me, please. Thank you. So he grabs the snow globe, and it's got a girl blonde hair. I'm like, it's Stargirl, way to foreshadow. And his powers come into effect, and it turns the snow globe into an ice cube. And then he drops it, and she's sitting there, with ice all, whatever, this little figurine. And I'm like, again, foreshadowing, because that's, Stargirl in ice, she's going to be covered in ice. And their grandparents are like, this is a blessing from Yulnheim and all this stuff. And they're like, yes, bless our grandson to, destroy our enemies. And I'm all like, I'm like, okay, let's back it up. Because grandparents, you guys are hardcore real quick. But and then it does this, it shines light on this again. So then we hop over to her sleeping, and the staff comes in, Cosmo, and it wakes her up and blasts her pillow and everything. She's like, hey, she's like, what's going on, Staffy? And it whisks her off to the trailer park. And she's like, what's going on? And then she finds Starman, because if you remember in the last episode, he was knocked out from behind. I have questions about who it is, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know if they're bringing. We'll talk about it when we get to it. So then we hop over to the Boo Valley Hospital. Looks very lovely, and Beth's mom is telling him that she she called the cops and all this stuff, and they're like, it's best if you don't, because he's got the same on his back. He's got the same markings that the gambler had when he died, but his was in his heart, obviously. So, like, next time, you shouldn't call the cops because we're trying to, stay under the radar as superheroes. She leaves, and then they're talking, and she's like, why didn't he take, was it right here? I'm going to say right here is when she's like, why didn't he take the staff, dummy? And he's all like, because it wasn't his turn to be Starman. It was your turn with the staff at night. Remember, you guys made the deal. And she's all like, he could have taken it. He should have taken it. And he should have. He's like, he's trying to follow the rules. And I'm like, yeah, we all get it, but dude, come on, you could have died. Yolanda is talking to our man, I believe, and everything about what's his face, Starman. And her mom comes in. She's like, who you're talking to? She's like, I was talking to Maria, and she asked me if I could take a shift at the diner tomorrow. And she's like, it's a school night. And she's like, I know, Mom, but can I just, it's only a couple hours, please. She's all like, the only reason I let you take that job is because your dad lost his. And she's like, did you tell everybody? And she's like, of course I didn't. That's nobody else's business. And she's like, all right. She's like, keep your room clean because, we have the realtor coming and they're obviously going to sell their house. Now, I just want to say something this about the mom and the family, Yolanda's family. I understand that Yolanda with the naughty picture from season 1. I understand, or was it season 2? It was season 2. Well, it happened before season 1, but then they told us what happened in season 2, I believe, or maybe it was season 1. I don't know. She took the naughty picture. I get it that their daughter made a mistake, but you're gonna hold that over her forever? Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, if that was my child, first off, I would be very upset. Second off, I would have sued the kid that dropped that picture because that's child pornography. And that's a no-go in this country. So anyway, so her dad lost his job. I mean, I just go, I get it. The dad lost the job, but you don't have to be, you still don't have to be mean to your daughter. Like, they're very unnecessarily mean, in my opinion. So she takes out her, wildcat costume. Oh, sorry. It's a little early for me. As of recording this. So then Starman wakes up and he's like, ow. And she's like, are you okay? And she's like, did you get a look at the killer? And he's like, no. And she's like, why didn't you take the staff? And he's like, it was your turn, yada, yada, yada. And she's like, I wasn't around. You can take the staff, if you need it. It's better than getting hurt. Pat comes in and he brings in Dr. McNider. And he's like, hey, buddy, long time no see. And he's like, hey, Doc. And we see through the camera and we see that this, who the villain is. We see him watching this stuff. I have a feeling that this is not the one that attacked, but we'll see. Sorry, I just need a little libation. So they look at the wound and he's all like, you're healing fast. Which later on they talk about it, about how, or maybe it's now, we'll say now, how he is absorbing light to heal himself. And that's how he did, because the more time he spent with the staff, the more he was able to do the regeneration stuff. So now he's able to regenerate because of the cosmic staff. And I thought that was very interesting. I don't know too much about Starman, and I just got Jeff Johns' JSA comic, so I'm starting to read it so I can get a feel for Stargirl and these characters, because I had never read his JSA before. And he's coming out with a new JSA comic. He's going to start writing new JSA, which I'm going to read those. I'm excited. All right, anyway, so and then he asks him about his son, and he's all like, he talks about his son a little bit, and then he's like, hey, that's the point of this. I handed over the goggles to Beth because she's the new Dr. McNider. We have to hand it over to the next generation. And me, I agree with that you should, but is their time really done? I mean, don't get me wrong, you can have a sidekick, but because that's the point of a sidekick, is they take over when you can't do it anymore. But these guys can still do it. It's not like Starman's got a walker and a breathing tank. So Anyway, so back at the trailer park, they're looking for evidence. And she's all like, "There's somebody wiped it down." And she goes, "I wouldn't have let," and she says something about how she wouldn't have let Starman live. And they're like, "What?" And she's like, "I'm just being honest." I'm like, "Yeah, honesty is the best policy." So they find a one little tiny cell, one skin cell, but she can't get a read on it. So then back at these guys' mansion. So sorry. I apologize. Grandma brings him some tea. He's like, "It's hot." And she's like, "It's tea. It would calm you down." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, tea's supposed to be hot." Especially when it's served in a little cup and cozy thingy, or a dish. So then they take his art stuff because they're like, "You need to concentrate on your powers coming through." And so then he tells him, "No more alcohol because you need to, you need to heal up." And the doctor says, "No alkies." And he talks about how he's like, maybe I should stop being a star man. Maybe we should stop. And I can't remember what Pat says to him, but whatever. I know you're like, "Oh, whatever. You should pay attention to this. It was like the most greatest scene in this." So they can't figure. So Dr. McNider helps out Beth and tells her that he's seen this before, and that it's Dragon King, Cindy's father. And best like Dragon King. I have to say, I understand that the show is called Stargirl, but I will be honest. I wish that they would take a little bit more time to give a little bit more story arcs to the other team members like Beth, because I did not like Beth season 1. You can check out my review. I did not like Beth. This character sucked. She was annoying. I did not like her at all. And then in season 2, I think she grew into a character that I actually now like. And I think that they're not doing justice towards this character. Same thing with the other characters, although I really don't care for Our Man, that kid. And Yolanda's kind of getting annoying because she's very one note. But Beth, just to focus on her, I really wish that they would give her, and the other characters more of a story arc. So they're back there and they're talking about how it's Dragon King. And he's got to be the one that killed, the gambler and attacked Starman. And they're like, Cindy's, and Yolanda's like, "Cindy's helping him." She's like, "Listen, we're not going to tell Cindy because she's trying to turn her life around and her dad died. So we need to calm it." I can't remember exactly everything they say here, but they're just like, "Don't tell Cindy that it's Dragon King." And so Cindy, she's back at the lab and she's like itching her arm, which I'm like, "Oh, what's going on under there?" Because they're going to show us. She's like, and everything. We go back to the bathroom of the high school where the two boys, where they asked the question of who the killer was. And it was like, "The killer has many names." And I'm like, well, give one name. I like how somebody put, "Your mom has many names." That's funny. Naughty girl is what I'd call her. Anyways, so Mike is all like, "We need to figure out who's doing this. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna take out Stripe and we're gonna go and we're gonna find out." And he's all like, or Jakeem is all like, why are we going to do this?" And he's like, "Because nobody takes us seriously as superheroes." And I'm all like, "Yeah, Mike, why don't you calm it down? You're so like gung-ho to prove yourself and you don't need to do all of this." And they're like, "Well, how are we going to get the keys to the shop Stripe and everything?" And he's all like, "The wish for it," but they wish for a key, and they get a bunch of them. He's like, "I'm pretty sure one of those is your dad's key." Mommy Stargirl is, proposing a park in Blue Valley. And I'm all like, "This was your big proposal, honey? A park with a playground and stuff so families can go and everything?" I'm like, okay, whatever. And her boss approves. He's like, "Hey, you're awesome. Good job." Because he was threatened. Which if she gets a chance, she should tell Tigress that was a bad choice. She's like, she should tell her, "I don't want to win because you threatened somebody. I want to win on the merits of what I have is a good idea." And her boss should lay off. Like, she should be like, "You better lay off. You don't have to approve everything she does, but you got to listen to her and be more supportive." She comes by and I can't remember what she says here. Sorry. They are watching an old movie and Sportsmaster comes in and he grabs his staff and he's like, "Hey, listen, I brought over 6-pack. I thought maybe you would just want to, chill out and heal and stuff." And he's all they have a moment where they're now friends. He's like, hey, just so you know that when me and Tigress ever did a job, we got the nervous the most when Starman would show up. And so they hang out, and I'm all like, okay, whatever. So then Cameron, he's all chilling, and he goes into the art room, and she's all like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm giving up art. And she's like, what? You love art? And he's like, I got something going on in me. And she's like, it's okay. And she's like, I can help. And he's like, no, you can't. She goes to touch him, and he does this cool thing. He's like, and then it blasts off and everything. And it's all snowy and icicles. I thought this was really cool. And then so she's all like, what's going on? And he's all like, this is a thing for my family from the old country, where we get these icicle powers. And she's all like, it's gonna work out. And he's like, how are you being so cool about this? No pun intended. So these two are sitting here, and he's like, hey, buddy. He's like, no, I was just thinking about being Starman. And he's like, I think maybe I should just give it up. And he's all like, before you do, look, I made you a costume. He's like, yeah, buddy. And I'm like, yeah, and everything. These two, he's what's I can't remember. I think this is where he tells him that he's healing because of the cosmic staff. Sorry. These two are going for a little walk. He's like, that mural is the last thing I ever painted before my powers kicked in. And then Stargirl suggests, hey, why don't you use your powers the way you would paint? Like, use your artistic expression to develop your icicle powers. And so he does, and it snows. She's like, oh my gosh. And then they like, I didn't get the screenshot, but I don't think they kiss. I love their little meet cute. I'm not gonna lie. I said it the last episode. I love love stories. I can't get it. I can't get enough of it. Like, I said it again. I'll say it again because I said it last episode. Whenever I meet a new couple, I'm like, tell me how you guys fell in love. I just love it. Being in love is the best thing ever. It really is. It really is. Anyways, so Cindy, she's trying to figure out what's going down because her shoulder is turning into this lizard, like the Serpent King. And or Dragon King, sorry, Serpent King. That's from something else. And so she's really frustrated about it. And that's where the episode ends. And I'm very curious if they're trying to say that the single cell was her cell and not Dragon King's. So then they're back at square one, or if it really was Dragon King. I thought I'll say it again. I think this show is good. I don't think that the writing is like uber stellar, but I do think it's better than stuff we're getting than some shows we're getting. I mean, have you guys seen She-Hulk? And that review's coming later today, but I think that when it comes to good writing, shows like this get a free pass in my book because we've gotten just so much crap that I'm all like, hey, I'll settle for this media, this non-stellar writing, but the show is good. It really is good. If we had nothing but all good shows, this one would still be a good show. So, I mean, and I do hope it gets a season 4. I really do. I hope that Positronic Hypersonic is incorrect. I really hope this gets a season 4 because, again, I do enjoy this show and I like these characters. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I personally do like the show. All right, you guys, that is my breakdown and review. Tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Who's your favorite JSA member? Tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. I will see you guys on my next Stargirl breakdown and review. You guys have a good day. Bye.